Learning more this afternoon about a case that ran cold for years. The body of a woman known as the Rose Lady was found in North Avondale in 2018. Earlier this week, Hamilton County Coroner Dr. Lakshmi Sammarco identified her as Patricia Goodwin. So Tricia Macke sat down with Dr. Sammarco talking about the case and how her friend played a role in finding the missing piece of DNA that led to identifying the body.
How often do you have to identify bodies here?
Well, we have to identify everybody here, and we usually use scientific means for that. And usually it's the same day. But, you know, with fingerprints and dental x-rays and everything you've seen on forensic shows.
Yeah.
And then some.
Yeah.
And just a lot of just hard work trying to identify people. So, yes, of course, DNA. Everybody thinks, you know, you get your DNA, you just plug it into some database, and boom, you know, you get a result. It doesn't quite work that way. And but there are ways to identify somebody who hasn't been identified. For example, and one of the cases that we were talking about today, there was a lady that was found half buried in a mulch bed with a rose on her on May 31st, 2018. And so almost exactly 7 years ago, Memorial Day weekend. And we weren't suspecting foul play just because of the circumstances.
Yeah, and the rose is
exactly. So but we were desperate to find out who she was. We had 4 press conferences, 4. We had a forensic artist working with us with the bones, just to be able to try and give us some information and then what she might look like. Then we actually scanned her head, CT scan of her head, used that information, fed it into a 3D printer, and we 3D printed her skull, gave it to an artist, and the artist came up with a clay rendering of her skull. And then with hair and whatnot, and tried to see what she might look like. Tried that, nobody answered. Then in November of 2023, we had digital renderings from BCI and from OSU of what she might look like. And still nothing. And, you know, we had some things that we collected on her. For example, there was a pair of hoop earrings, silver hoop earrings with a little ball on the bottom, kind of distinctive, you know, not most hoop earrings are just hoops like yours. Yes. And so anyway, we got nowhere. And FBI started helping us and using genetic genealogy, and they were able to get a basic family tree. And it was unbelievable because one of my best friends from forever called me last year and said, I've got FBI calling me and I've got them emailing me. Do you know what's going on? I'm like, I don't know. Did you do something? And she said, not that I'm aware of. And I called FBI and they said, oh, well, we think she's tied to your Rose Lady, your
friend.
Unidentified. My friend, exactly. I'm like, what? No, I can't believe that. What would she have? So, well, we did a family tree, and it looks like, you know, with other information we had, and it looks like, you know, your friend might be related to her. So I called her up and I said, hey, they need your DNA. Would you be willing to give them your DNA?
And we're going to have more from this one-on-one interview coming up at 6:30. In part 2, the Hamilton County Coroner discusses the process of identifying a body when it comes to using fingerprints and working with other departments.